Vanessa. How are you?
I'm fine.
Thank you for doing this.
You're welcome.
So, starting the questions, how did you come to work on investigations?
I have a very diverse background. I'm Brazilian, Italian, lived in the United States, in Brazil, in Spain, in Switzerland. So about 30 years ago, I started my career as an auditor. I worked in several industries, financial institutions, consulting, retail, cooperatives, among others, and adding the corporate investigator's role or starting investigations was a very organic and natural step over the years. I don't even recall when was the first one and what the first investigation that I did was about. But I can say that today, the auditing and investigative mindsets are ingrained and is instinctive in all my day-to-day assurance activities.
What do you like most about working in investigations?
Well, the varieties, so the fact that investigations are not equal. Even when it's a similar type of scheme, those are normally not identical. It is motivating and is a challenge for me. The tasks to be executed are like an intellectual booster because I feel comfortable executing analytical and meticulous tasks. So I must be creative to excel in dealing with the variety challenge and defeat the difficulties. Another thing that I like about the profession is that I really enjoy that even though the offenders always find a new way to create their schemes, we always have new tools that are arising, and this helps us to be constantly updated with knowledge and techniques, so making it a very dynamic profession.
Do you like lists?
Well, even though there are a lot of pressures and complications during actual investigations, and even with the results from continuous monitoring tools, it's also pressured. Dealing with the legal conundrums around certain topics is on the top of my known favorites list. They are normally very no motivational. And I guess for all investigators, another least liked are people that denies facts, even after we prove them. And they resist implementing the prevention mechanisms, which brings like repeated occurrences that are for sure an obnoxious investigator's nightmare.
What are the top 3 qualities a corporate investigator should have?
Ability to think out of the box and see the investigation with the perpetrator's viewpoint, because majority of the work we do, it's outside our social habits or borders or different from our own cultural background and moral values. So it is crucial that an investigator is able to understand the cultural basis that the infraction is occurring. Another one, a very, very strong know-how in dealing, reading, understanding data. It does not matter if you have an automated tool or have to do it manually with a spreadsheet or a pile of paper. Being able to transform data in evidence, using data to build the infraction pathway, being capable to explain conclusions based on loads of data in a very digestible format, among others, are critical tasks that we investigators have nowadays. To be able to trust your data and extract evidence from it, you have to really know it. So build this ability. And I believe resilience is another fundamentally important one, not only because pressures or because the harassments we're going to face while we are uncovering wrongdoing, but you need a very strong resilience foundation to keep your own ethics and your own moral values continuously encouraged. It's very easy to give up or lose the faith in people. after the things we see.
What is your favorite pastime when you're not investigating?
Spending time with my daughter is for sure my favorite one. I also like to ski, hiking, and play beach volleyball, though I'm not particularly good in any of it. For any assurance professional, I strongly believe that we must have a de-stress personal outlet. And I have also created the habit in watching stand-up comedy as a mood uplifting tool in stressful working periods.
So, what's your favorite film?
Well, there are several. But I think that for this forum, the series The Mechanism describes some of the events for the Petrobras case that for us is for sure an epic case that, due to its dimensions, really astonished the investigation world. And it's interesting how they picture the gathering of evidence technical hitches in this movie, in this series. And as a film, I recently saw one called The Good Liar, which is also a portrait of charlatans and swindlers. That is an entertaining film for investigators.
Why is the role of corporate investigator important?
Well, because we could keep the corporate ethical values always on check, as is a great way to promote the impression that someone is watching, which is a great viewed oversight control. It's also an effective corporate instrument to remedy the misconduct or ethical problems. In other words, it's we do the ethical recurrent maintenance in corporations, repairing as fast as possible cash leaks.
And what educational or training background do you think investigators should have?
I believe that technological and accounting are the most important educational knowledge which can build the most of the required abilities for nowadays and will be for sure the actual route for a very successful investigator. As extra trainings, there's a lot of things around and there are constantly new things to learn and to evolve within this career. But I consider that the foundation in corporate investigations from ACI is the most comprehensive one.
And why did you join the ACI?
Well, ACI is an association built by members and to support members. So with a very distinctive direction in helping the professionals in overcoming the latest obstacles arising in our day-to-day. It's done in a very approachable format. As a member, I think I am looking for networking and guidance when needed.
What's your advice to people starting out in a corporate investigations career?
Be prepared to be in a non-stagnant professional in which no investigation is equal and all aspects of your work are constantly varying or evolving. And you must be always updated or knowing the trends. Not only in the schemes perpetrated, but also for the manners and tools to investigate them. Learn from the beginning in how you can deal with your own emotional states when people are discrediting you, because you can trust me. Being ethical does bring joy. Is a very interesting professional fulfillment. It's very rewarding when an investigation is concluded, wrongdoings are uncovered, bias are broken, harassment stopped, assets recovery. It's an interesting profession.
And what's your advice to women starting out in a corporate investigations career?
So, a female auditor or investigator will face certain bias that are actually common for any profession. But for the investigators or auditors, I think that the bias around the toughness have a lot stronger consequences because can be a discouragement when we are starting. This can be in the form of discrediting you by joking or mockery or any type of format. When you feel uncomfortable, always recall that this is only a form to discredit you and undermine the truth that you are uncovering, normally about them. So, women usually have some natural traits that can make us great investigators, such as perceiving details, being analytical. But remember that their bias is not your mistake, it's theirs.
Thank you very much, Vanessa.
Thank you for your time.